네, 안녕하세요. 저는 축잘라 리버풀 팬 가이라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. Of course, Son, with his recent, he's been good for the last few years, but this year especially, he's been even taking it to another level. So a lot of big clubs are interested in him. He's getting to that age where soon he has to decide: is he going to stay at Tottenham for his whole career in his kind of peak years, or is now the time for a big money move to a big club? If Son does sign for 5 or 6 years, that will be almost guaranteed that he will see out the rest of his career with us. I do not expect the South Korean to lose his pace or sharpness into his 30s like some other players do, given his terrific fitness record. I expect him to continue being a key player for us into his mid-30s like Vardy is for Leicester. Sonny, he's known, he really looks after his body. He does a lot of work in the gym, of course all the players do, but Sonny's known he really does take care of himself. So yeah, I can see him playing, still having his speed into his mid-30s. But that's interesting. Of course, that's from a Tottenham point of view. So of course they want Sonny to stay. But yeah, we've seen a lot in the news, but there's nothing, I don't know what's true. It's hard to know what's true and what's not. There's nothing set yet that he's going to sign a new contract. So Tottenham are offering him the same as Kane and Ndombele, so he'd be the highest earner at the club other than Bale, which is ridiculous salary. But from Madrid, that's just how it is. To be honest, I think, of course, that's a lot of money per week, and you guarantee that money for 5 or 6 years. But I think in the current football market and the prices we're seeing today, I think Sonny, I'd say he's a world-class player, and I think he's one of the, sort of top 10 players in the world at the moment. So he could actually earn a lot more. If he does decide, okay, I'm going to stay at Tottenham, I think he could ask for more money. And I know it's always tough because then Kane will say, but how can he get paid more than me? But Son is worth more than 200,000 a week in the current football market. The players want to, they want to enjoy their football. They want to play in a team where they have friends, they feel close with the fans and everything. So it's a really tough decision because whatever he does, it's going to be positives and negatives, a lot of them. So if he stays at Tottenham, it's great because when you think of Tottenham, you think of Sonny, and all the Korean fans love Tottenham these days because of Son. So if he had to leave, it would be really sad for a lot of Korean people and people around the world, obviously, but especially Koreans because they've become very synonymous with Tottenham. But you also have to understand it. He's 28 years old, one of the best players in the world. Any club wants him. Liverpool, we want him. Come on, Sonny. Please come to us. So Madrid, Barcelona, you name it, they would take Son for sure. So I think it's a really tough situation for him. If I was Son, I would go to another club, but I get that it's a really tough decision. Yeah. Whatever he does, a lot of people will admire him and a lot of people will say he's done the wrong thing. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I will always be a bit biased, and I think at the end of your career, if you're at that level where any club wants you, you want to say you played for the best teams and the biggest clubs with the biggest histories in the world, the biggest traditions. And while Tottenham are a great team, there's no taking that away from them, they have not won big trophies for a long time, and Son deserves that. So I think he's already been amazing at Tottenham. Yeah, I think he's already a Tottenham legend. So if I was Sonny, I personally wouldn't sign a new contract now. I'd give it this year. If somehow Tottenham can win the league this year, I think, then he can stay. Then they're in the Champions League. But if they don't win the league, and even if they don't come top 4, it's ridiculous if Son is not playing in the Champions League. So if I was Son, I wouldn't sign any contracts until the end of the season. I wouldn't sign any new contracts. Of course, if you went to Madrid or Barcelona, they're massive clubs, of course. I honestly think he should stay in the Premier League, but that is also tough because it's tough to go from Tottenham to a rival club. But if I was Son, I would go to Liverpool. Even if he was just a very normal personality, a normal guy from Asia, he's already a massive, people want to sign him because if he comes to a club, then all the people support him. But Son is actually awesome guy. He's always happy, smiling. Everyone loves him. Even rival fans love Son. So he's a huge pull. He's a huge draw card for any club. Park Ji-sung, that was I still argue he was an okay player, but he wasn't a United standard player, I would say. But look what it did. Like, you had most of Korea supporting United and a lot of Asia supporting United. So these days, Sonny is the best Asian player by a long way. So of course he has a huge marketing pool. If he had to go to any other big club, if he went to City, United or Liverpool or Barcelona, Real Madrid, the shirt sales alone, they would buy so many shirts. Korea, obviously many people would buy the shirt. Japan, China, obviously is huge. So yeah, it is a massive business opportunity for any club that gets Son, and that will be on all of their minds. You know, you'd be getting a world-class player and a great personality, and from Asia, Asia's best player. So that's why all the big clubs want him, and that's why I said before, I think Son should be clever about this and wait a bit. Don't sign any contracts now. See how Tottenham go for the next year, max 2 years, and then use that pulling power to, if you're going to stay at Tottenham, I think he could get up to 300 more per week, to be honest. I mean, that's such a tough question. Of course it is possible, of course it is. But it depends on many, many factors. And this is the thing, Mourinho is he's a great manager, obviously, but I do think their squad is still lacking in depth. I've said this before, if everyone stays fit, yes, Tottenham have a good chance, but that's very unlikely. And I think Tottenham's squad might be a bit thin. I think you could see them drop off in March, kind of February, March, April. There's definitely a chance, but in my mind and in my heart, I feel Tottenham will come up just short. I think it will be City and Liverpool that will be the top two this year. Yeah, so I think it's too early. I think you have to ask me that question in like March time, because it all depends on injuries, I'd say, for all the clubs. If Bruno Fernandes gets injured at United, they're really going to struggle. He carries them so much. City, I mean, if De Bruyne got injured, that would be big. If Kane or Son get injured, it's going to be big. So yeah, I think let's wait a few months and then let's see. But I think for now, I'd say there is a chance, but I'd say it's highly unlikely they win the league. Yeah. Guys, this is a really interesting topic, talking about Son and his future. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments as Koreans, you know, because as a Liverpool fan, I would love him to come to Liverpool, but maybe as Koreans, you guys want him to stay at Spurs, or maybe some of you want him to go to a Liverpool or a Man City or Barcelona, Real Madrid to win more trophies. So I think he deserves more credit, and I think if he did play for a team that won the Champions League or the Premier League, he'd be seen as like right up there with kind of Ballon d'Or candidates, you know. For now, I feel like people think he's world class, but he's kind of sort of around like the 10th best player in the world, but not like the top few. So in my opinion, I think going to a big club would be the next step to really be talked about in the sort of Ronaldo, Messi, just below that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, let's hope we see Sonny playing in a Liverpool shirt soon.